Suzanne, so we're 6 weeks in now to the course.
Yeah.
And it'll be really interesting to hear your views in terms of how the course is going, what you're getting from it,
Sure.
in relation to what you expected from the course.
Sure.
So I've just got a couple of questions here. And I suppose the first question is what has been sort of the most significant aspects of learning for you so far?
And I guess on the first week of the course, somebody mentioned a different learner who had spoken about kind of bumbling along in their team manager role really, and I guess that I would really relate to that and feel that I was probably doing the same. I'd been employed, kind of promoted into the role, and I was learning on the job and kind of, sort of going along, just doing my best and kind of practicing and learning from experience, which is great and is valid. But what the course is doing is it's helping to put a foundation around that. There's a lot of kind of research and theoretical learning, which puts a real framework which underpins my practice. And it's certainly kind of giving me increased confidence in my role. I feel like I can use some of the skills that I'm learning here directly with the team, both on a day-to-day basis and kind of in specific interactions. So
brilliant. So how is your practice then developing as a manager? Can you give some examples of how it might be changing?
So very early in the course we learned about a development wheel which kind of I'd used with a specific team member. And that team member had come to me in her appraisal and told me that she was feeling overall that she wasn't doing very well in her role, and I think she just used the words, I'm feeling like a rubbish social worker. And that certainly wasn't my perspective of her practice. So we used the development wheel where we put kind of each of the areas of her work role around the wheel, and she scaled from 1 to 10 how she felt she was practicing and performing in each of those specific areas. And what was really interesting was that she would kind of score herself, and then she would say, actually, I don't think I am a 4 or a 5 there. Really thinking about it, I think I'm probably about a 7 or an 8 there. And what it highlighted really, really quickly and really, really clearly for her was there was 1 or 2 areas that she was struggling with, but it wasn't the whole social worker role that she was struggling with. So we were able then to do a really nice development plan to kind of target those specific areas. And a different area where I've used a specific tool is with the appraisal process. Just through my learning on the course, really it became apparent to me that the appraisal I've been doing, I do yearly, and then we don't really revisit them through the year, and then a year later we look at them and we say, did we do what we said we were going to do? And I just approached the team at the last team meeting and said to them, would they value me doing an individual learning plan or individual development plan with each of them that we review 3 monthly throughout the year to keep the appraisal process live. And they were really quite enthusiastic about that and very motivated. So, and quite a few of them said the appraisal process feels a bit more meaningful, with that plan going forwards. And then on a day-to-day basis, I would reflect recently, I'd sent an email to a team member to arrange a meeting. And I was on the course the following Tuesday, and really the kind of course content led me to think the email probably wasn't the best way to deliver what I wanted to deliver. And interestingly, when I went back to work the following day, I'd had an email back from that team member who was quite anxious about my email, and it was just really good to think about, just on a day-to-day basis, those interactions and communications with the team, and just thinking a bit more underpinning. I guess there was my sort of intent from the message, but also thinking about how that message was received by the employee, which
that's a lovely case study there. Thank you. So overall, what would you say if someone's considering coming on the course? What would you say the benefits of the course are?
I think probably the biggest benefit that I'm feeling is an increased confidence, and I suppose I would kind of relate it back to almost feeling like a bit of an imposter in my role for a while, and thinking, I'm doing my best here and learning, and this is really giving me the confidence in my role. I feel like I kind of belong in the role now, and I feel like I'm still learning, but really excited and motivated. And I guess I'd reflect one of the potential barriers to me when I was thinking about coming on the course. I was quite anxious about the time commitment and fitting that into a really busy work day. And I really like the way the course is structured, because we do it's a day out a week, but we do really kind of focused and structured learning during the morning, and then in the afternoon we can consolidate that learning. And we've also got an opportunity to do the portfolio building, so there's not a big additional time commitment outside of the day a week that we attend the kind of learning here. And I guess also the other activities that we do in terms of portfolio building are very real. They're not something that we do in an abstract way, so it's going back and doing activities in work with the team that fit really with consolidating the learning. So That was probably the biggest barrier for me, was an anxiety around time commitment, and I think the course is really well structured to recognise that we're busy team managers, and then that's potentially going to be tricky.
Good. I would appreciate your comments. Many thanks.
That's great. Thank